What is up, fellow bench warmers? This is your daily fantasy quickie. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to us because we missed a couple of days just to sort out some work stuff, and our schedules did not meet. Mine and Commission's schedules did not really meet for the past 2 days. But we are going to post a schedule analyzer for this week, so watch out for that. Or it might have been posted before this. My name is JJT with Commish. Eric, how's the week, Commish? How's the week for you in fantasy?
Not that good. I as I said, there are 2 leagues that are really problematic for me, and then today a lot of my players didn't perform. Rudy Gobert got ejected. And then the other players didn't perform well, and then some rest, like Drew did not play, Giannis did not play.
The Bucks had they rested a bunch of their guys.
Basically, everybody who didn't play well today, because I have a lot of teams, were my players. So, and those who rested are also my players. So not too good for the week.
I, on the other hand, has been having a better week, right? For the past couple of weeks, it's been really bad, just because of the injuries and all. But this week, I think I'm a bit lucky with maybe the matchups plus the performers, and I've been lucky in the streams, right? I was able to stream AJ Griffin. I was able to add him, I think, for yesterday's game. So there are still some bad ads. Mo Wagner is one. Although I was able to stream Mo Wagner from yesterday's game, which he played well. It's just that today he didn't play as well enough. So yeah, overall it's good. Plus, I have some really good records there. I've had some 8-1s currently, so let's see if it holds up until the end of the week, until tomorrow, Judgment Day. So now let's talk players. Biggest question, I've got some questions about Cade. I know we talked about this, but there was a report again that Cade is considering, or maybe they're still there weighing or discussing whether he should take a surgery or just take an extended rest. So managers are worried what to do now. I've seen Cade drop in a 12 team maybe a few weeks ago when this news broke out. Now I got Cade in a 14 team league. Just one so far. One manager has dropped Cade in one of our 14 team leagues. And given that there's only one there, means that a lot of the managers are still holding on to him. So what to do? Do you now start to consider?
There's certain situations here, scenarios. Yeah, there are scenarios here that we can see. One scenario is you're like my team. I have multiple injuries. I have Harden, CP3, I have Potel, I have Wendell Carter. I have so many players injured. In that case, Cade really is a drop. Okay, I'll put it that way. I read the report. I saw the interview with Wayne Casey. It seems like that's where they're leaning towards, surgery. And as we said before, even if they don't get the surgery, the chances of him coming back would still be around later. I mean, January or February. So it's not as if they don't take the surgery, he can play, let's say, every other game, or maybe they manage it. They can play some games he doesn't play. No, it's not that case. They have to let him rest for a long while before he can play. That is whether he takes a surgery or not. So it seems like that's the case, and if that's the case, he's a drop. If you're in my case, my situation where there's so many injuries, you have so many injuries. If you don't have any injury, then you don't have to ask a question. Just put him in your IL and wait until the end. Another thing is, if you're really frustrated with him, of course, a trade is hard right now. But if you drop him and some other managers pick him up, that means he still has some sort of value in your league.
Yeah.
So before you do that, maybe the value is really really low, like I don't know, like Jalen Duren or maybe Tari Eason kind of low, but still something. If let's say Tari Eason is the value you can get for Cade, and he's better than all the other FAs you can see that you're replacing Cade with, then take that deal. That's just how I think, how I will go about the Cade situation.
And if there's a time to do that, to try and trade him, even for very low value, I think that's where now is the good time to do that.
Now is the last time. I
Yeah,
think now is
probably
the
the
last.
rest. Well, probably we'll get some news next week. We're
Yes.
just guessing here, but since there was some update today, or I think yesterday, there's a chance that there'll be some updates in a couple of days or maybe in 1 or 2 weeks, right? So now's a good chance to do that. But like you said, the player that you might get might still be better than any player now in
And
your
waiver. Yeah.
waivers, especially in the deeper leagues, right? 14, 16 team leagues.
Yes.
You'll
Yes.
probably be able to get better value through a trade than just dropping him.
Let's say Jalen Williams, for instance, or even Max Truss. Max Truss is value is gonna fall because of the return of Jimmy. So I'll go for that, and then I'll think of a player which is one move away. I call those players one move away, one injury away, one trade away, one something away, and then it can explode. Think of a player like that. If you can think of somebody like, let's say, as I said, Max Truss, I said Jalen Williams. He's just one FGA injury away. I mean, it's not as far off as you think. Compared to other players who, even if the player on top in front of them gets injured, they'll not really explode. It's better to have players like this, one move away players. So think of
That's
those
a good
kinds of
one.
players.
That's a good one. One move away players. So yeah, that's about Cade. That's the discussion about Cade's fantasy value. Now let's talk about some injuries. So we talked last episode. We talked about John Collins and DeAndre Hunter being out for a few games, a couple of weeks maybe. And yesterday we saw who benefited from these: AJ Griffin, Jalen Johnson, and of course Bogdan Bogdanovic returned, but he didn't play as good. But understandable because first game back from a long injury. How do you see this? Jarrett Culver, I didn't notice Jarrett Culver as much, but I think it's really about AJ Griffin and Jalen Johnson at this point.
A lot of people ask me about Jack Cool, as they said, and Jarrett Culver, why I didn't put him there. I said I kind of forgot, but also because I think it's really AJ and Jalen I like more. Culver played power forward when Collins got injured. He started for him, played a lot of minutes, 9 points, 12 rebounds, 2 steals that game. But Jalen Johnson was out that game. The last game, Jalen Johnson returned. So he started, played well in the first half, then didn't do much in the second half. So it was a mixed thing. If you just looked at the box score, you saw 10, 10, and 4, you would say, not bad, plus a block. But 10, 9, and 4 was his stat after the first half. And actually, he was already around 8 points, 7 rebounds in the first quarter. So the stats kind of slowed down significantly after the first. Maybe the adrenaline was there, finally playing. But this guy's good. I know this guy's good. But I still think AJ Griffin is better. He's really better, and he's the guy you should target. He's the guy who I think is even better than Hunter right now. Hunter's injuries, hip flexor strain. They said 1 week. I think that 1 week is re-evaluation. It might take a little longer than that. So as long as he's out, Griffin is the guy you would want. Bogdan, if you have more patience, eventually Bogdan will pay off. But of course, he hasn't played for a while. You have to suffer through some games like what he did in the first game. 5 points, 2 out of 8, something like that. Typical Bogdan.
Yeah.
He's a slow starter.
Yeah, and AJ Griffin had some good games already, even with DeAndre Hunter in the lineup.
Yes.
So I think that's a good sign already. Of course, some word of caution as well. AJ Griffin is a rookie.
Yeah.
And as with rookies, like we've always said, the consistency could be a problem. The steals, though, could be more consistent because that's defense. The shooting, though, might not be as good. Because he's had some good shooting games, but it might not be that good all the time. Plus,
And
of course, there's Trey there. There's other options there as well.
and as I was gonna say, Trey was, I think, out the last game, so that helped. Of course, they needed points, so AJ helped. If there's one thing about AJ Griffin in college, he was projected to be a top 10 pick, top 5 pick even, and he was picked 16th because of one thing. You can almost not notice him in some games. He's very passive. He's not somebody who's aggressively looking for it. He's not Benedict Mathurin. Benedict Mathurin is very, very brash, aggressive. He's really confident. The opposite of that is AJ Griffin. But people have always said AJ Griffin is very talented, even more talented than Mathurin in some ways. But he's just not the same personality.
Yeah.
So we expect inconsistencies with AJ Griffin.
All right. Some good news though. Big names have returned. Well, hopefully for good.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Jimmy Butler returned the other day. You know.
What's
the
your
classic
take? They
Jimmy
know my
Butler.
take. They know my take with Jimmy Butler because I've been writing about it and killing Butler. What do you think? This is it? He's gonna stay
No,
healthy?
it's never gonna be it. It's never gonna be it with Jimmy Butler. I saw what you said. Jimmy Butler is the type of player you never know that he's got an injury.
Yeah.
You just never
Right.
know. I mean, it just pops up, and then I think that's not the problem. The problem with Jimmy Butler is that when he gets that injury tag, right, you don't know he has it, and you don't know how bad it is. So you're thinking that it's just gonna be a few games, but he misses more than what you expect or more than what you hope for, right? It's like he's like extending his sick leaves or
yeah, that's a good way to put it. And then when he comes back like he did against Boston, shooting like fadeaways over.
It's like nothing
people,
happened. Like
winning
you
games.
don't. It's like he
Right?
doesn't have an injury.
Well, I think he has an injury. He's kind of old. The mileage is really already there in the body, so sure has a lot of soreness in his body, and maybe he's just afraid that come playoff time it worsens, or maybe he won't be ready for that. Well, that is logical, but we don't care about that in fantasy. Sorry, Jimmy. We don't care about your your championship aspirations. We care about our championship aspirations,
Yes.
and you're hurting us. You're hurting us with these kinds of things. And the maintenance, as I said, the maintenance period for Jimmy just takes so long. Like this one was torn knee. How many games did he miss?
This is anti-Jamarant, anti-Trey Young. Of course, those players are younger, but come on, guys. LeBron's 38, and he came back fast, and it was a groin injury as well. We thought he's gonna be out for a while.
He's not needed. They played 7 men.
Yeah, that's
one
it.
time, right?
I'm pretty sure Kyle Lowry needs him.
Well, given that, what should you do with Jimmy Butler? I think a couple more games, maybe try to float out some offers. As long as you can dispose of him, even if you lose some value. For me, that's for me. I don't know for Jeremy, but for me, even if I know he's a top 40 pick, maybe you get somebody lower than that, maybe 60s or 70s. I would take it. I really would take it. And I would just say, I will just look at the totals. As long as a player I'm going to get back, I'm not sure. I feel like the odds of him playing more than Jimmy Butler is high.
Who is that? Who is that?
Well,
Ayton.
It would have been better if you got him for Khris Middleton when Middleton hasn't yet returned. I mean, that would have been perfect.
Now that brings us to the Khris Middleton return. I still think he's gonna miss some games. He missed the back-to-back days. He missed today's game. Understandable because he came from an injury. It's the norm in the NBA. But I also have some doubts on how much will Khris Middleton play. Maybe not the Jimmy Butler type, but the way he missed. How many weeks? He missed 7 weeks.
I don't share the doubts, though. I don't share the doubts. I'll explain it this way. Before the wrist injury, he had another injury, and that's what I I kind of got from the interviews. I kind of tried to snoop around why he took so long. He had another injury. Actually, he had 2 injuries before that, but he played through it. So I think the recovery now wasn't just for the risk; it was for everything. Just to keep him really healthy and ready for the whole season. I do think the back-to-backs. I don't know until when he's not gonna play back-to-backs. Possibly he's gonna miss majority of it, but I feel like Yanis also needs some maintenance
Some
days
rest, yeah.
going forward. And I think with Middleton back there, afforded to do that more. So I believe Middleton will get back to where he was last year, rank wise, per game wise. I think he will get there. And I believe he's gonna still play more than Jimmy Butler going forward, even without the back to backs. I still feel that way. But yeah, I do get also your point that he's coming from of an injury, but maybe that's the best you can get for Butler, because you talked about Aiton. Did you say Aiton?
Yeah, Aiton, maybe.
I mean, there's no way in hell the manager will get Butler for Aiton. No, considering how well Aiton is doing nowadays, how well he's playing. That's just impossible. I was actually thinking Tobias. I was actually thinking Tobias Harris already. I was already thinking that kind of
That's
level.
too low, though. For a one-on-one deal, that might be too low.
But
Jarrett Allen.
what will you do with Jimmy Butler?
Jarrett Allen.
What will you do with Jimmy Butler if he? I will take Jarrett Allen every day, and you will not get a deal like that. Sorry, but that's not
Jimmy Butler
possible.
+1.
Maybe, but you're not gonna get. It's really hard. It's really hard to sell off Jimmy Butler without losing some value in return, or taking a lesser player in return. Tobias is an easy one.
Jimmy Butler for Sengun.
Yes, I will take Sengun. Sengun's struggling. He didn't play the whole fourth quarter the past 2 games. The last 17 minutes of Houston, Usman Garuba. Effing Usman Garuba was playing.
So given that, you're still taking Sengun, right?
Yes, I'm taking Sengun. 100% any time of the day over Jimmy Butler. Any time of the day. He may prove me wrong. He may prove me wrong and play like 80% of the remaining games. Okay, well and good.
But he's never proven us wrong.
No, but it's okay. My point is, the manager who got him, you got a good deal, good for you. But for me, I cannot plan my season if I have somebody like that, like Jimmy Butler, that I don't know, will he play, won't he play? Can I trust that he will get me this stats? Because anytime he can just, as you said, take a sick leave. So that's tough. That's tough.
Right. The silver lining here is that Jimmy Butler went around the 40s during the drafts, or most drafts, right? Late 30s to 40s. So at least, if you're not the type who likes to trade as much, right? Or you don't have the patience to look for trade opportunities, then, because there are some managers like that, then holding on to him might be okay as well. At least it won't hurt as much. Unless if you drafted some injured guys in your top 3 rounds, right? So Jimmy Butler return, we talked about Khris Middleton a bit. Dame is coming back on Judgment Day. Well, hopefully he is set to return on Judgment Day, but there's no confirmation yet that he's gonna return. So we'll have to wait for that. No, not much impact, I guess, to any streamers that you picked up. Maybe Simons gets a little less usage, and Jeremy Grant, but we've seen Jeremy Grant's value with Dame. They're still good. Still good. I think Simons would be the biggest hit here.
Good that you mentioned it, because today Simons had 45 points. 33 in the first half. He had 7 3-pointers today. He had 9 two games ago. He had 4.
I think he had 7 turnovers, which you will take.
Here's Jeremy again with.
That's why I put the disclaimer there. You will take that. I will take that for 45 points.
When Jeremy looks at box scores, he looks at the negatives
look at everything.
before the positives.
You look at everything.
He looks at the negatives first before the positives. That's the manager that JJT
No, the positives you will like. You won't care about that, but when you see that 7 turnovers, especially when it's really close.
But
you'll take it. You'll take it.
Yeah, because that comes from being the point guard with Dame out.
Yeah, point guard plus the top dog.
Yeah, right. In terms of streamers, Winslow is probably the guy that you probably would take the biggest hit. But Josh Hart is still out, still injured. So I would not drop Winslow right away, depending on Josh Hart's situation. Let's wait for Josh Hart's update. But when Hart comes back, also Winslow is a drop. And then, as you said, Grant, I think, fares better when Lillard comes back than Simons.
Yeah.
Simons is a direct hit. No matter what, this is the way I explain it. From a Steph Curry, he becomes a Klay Thompson. Now that's just how it is.
Yes,
that's
a perfect.
It's still good. It's still good.
Still
but
good.
It's not.
You can still roster him, but not Steph Curry. James Harden is coming back anytime soon. I don't think there was a date or a game that was.
They said Monday. They said
tomorrow
Monday.
as well. Judgment Day.
No. Do they have a game tomorrow? I think it's Tuesday. The first day of week 8. The first day of week 8.
All right. So if that's okay, Shake is the biggest one hit here.
Well, yeah, Shake.
Unfortunately, it's going to be Shake Milton who's going to be hit. Who else? Anybody else? Melton, maybe.
Melton.
No. Yeah, here's the thing. When James Harden returns, they won't have Maxi yet. So I would say maybe hold on a bit to Shake to see how they play the rotation. At least for that game, right? Don't just drop Shake for that game.
I always hold on to players who did so well, like Shake, for a while. Similar, let's say, to Cameron Payne when Chris Paul eventually comes back. I will try to hold on to these players a little bit just to see first how Harden looks. How Harden looks, and maybe how is there any minutes restrictions for the meantime. So try to squeeze as much value there as possible. Just to mention something, Tyrese Maxey secretly, he's not yet back, but I feel like they're not updating it, but he might be back anytime. Maybe not week 8, but maybe week 9, maybe early week 10. So it's
probably 3 weeks already.
It's around the corner, but people are not talking about it as much. Just saying that maybe there's a window there to steal him out from a manager who's struggling.
And give out your Jimmy Butler, right?
Possibly. Yeah, something like that.
Right? That's a great idea. That's a good idea.
Something like that. I mean, just explore. Just explore some ways to maximize your Jimmy Butler right now. Maxi is somebody. Pun intended.
TJ Warren returned.
Yeah. Look good. Didn't play 2 years. Played 16 minutes. Solid, but no need for you to bother with it. I think Joe Harris playing better. They have so many other players like Cam Thomas, Seth Curry, Utah if he comes back. So there would be a lot of shooter scorers there. It might be whoever is hot that game gets more minutes.
Right. Yeah. That's it. For the returning players, so TJ Warren is the last one. Let's talk about the face-off for a bit before maybe just throwing out some names there from your waiver wire that you can pick up. Andrew Wiggins versus Franz Wagner.
Yeah. That's an easy one. Who's your take there?
Now you put pressure on me by saying that's an easy one.
No. I mean, for me, that's an easy one. But
I'm not a big fan of Andrew Wiggins.
I know.
But I know Wagner has been not. I think I'll still take Wagner here overall.
Yeah,
did I pick the wrong choice?
No. That doesn't mean it's the wrong choice if it's not my choice. I actually have Wagner. I don't have Wiggins. So
before the season, a lot of Wagner, but
before the season, I was really high on Wagner also. But as I said, because I own him, I scrutinize his stats in his game more. And when Cole Anthony, Markel Fultz, they also came back, by the way, were out, and even Suggs, I didn't see any progression really in his game. Yeah. His assist went up to as much as 4, 5, maybe that's the most. He didn't get steals. Scoring went up to 20, 21, but that's the most already. So he doesn't steal. He doesn't make a lot of 3-pointers, 1.2 only. Lots of holes there, lots of problematic situations there. I just think he's overrated. I don't think he's a bust. I think he's just overrated by people. So I would like to trade him. I would like to trade him because he has a name value. And just look at his numbers.
It's not
when
good. It's
Fultz
not good. Not
when
good.
Fultz no, actually he's
It's
good
okay.
because 20.
No,
Yeah,
Wiggins. You're talking about Wiggins.
No, Wagner.
Yeah, it's okay.
Wagner.
It's okay. But not the one that you expected when you drafted him.
Yes, 1.2 threes, 0.3 steals, not that good. And I think when Fultz's minutes restriction is lifted, Cole Anthony's minutes restriction is lifted, or Suggs comes back, I don't know where that would be. The last 2 games, we already seen some problems. He had 9 points today. He had 14 the other day, the last game. And then the assists, 1 each with Cole and Fultz there. So there are signs. I hope I'm wrong because I own him. I have a lot of Wagner. But as soon as he plays well, I think you should try to see what you can get for Franz. Wiggins, I also don't like Wiggins, but I think he's a little underrated already at this point.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I think
a little bit.
his reputation is he's being judged from who he was in Minnesota, from fantasy wise. I think that's when the finals Wiggins. No one trusts that it can progress to here in the regular season. So I think that's where Wiggins is being judged. But if we just look at this year, he's been good. He's been good. But it's been interesting because our face-offs have been getting interesting results. Jaylen Brown, people prefer Jaylen Brown over Bradley Beal overall. It was close though. And of course,
I was surprised.
Right, I know you were surprised by that. Although the Tatum Durant one was even closer, 55% for Tatum, 45% for KD.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Like we said, he's younger, and if their stats are the same, and you go for the younger guys, right? So we'll post this again on our Twitter page, so you can vote on it. Some guys you can add just quickly. Maybe Dyson Daniels from New Orleans.
Didn't play well the last game, but the minutes were there. And as long as Herb is out, looks like it's still going to be out. And then Ingram is still going to be out. I still think the opportunity is there for Daniels.
Yeah. Naz Reid has had some opportunities. And today was a kind of a fluke one, but he can have good streaming value, I would say, with Karl Anthony Towns out.
Yeah, maybe. And
today was kind of a fluke because Gobert got ejected, so Gobert played just 9 minutes. But it's the tougher one for Naz Reid is because you don't know when that good game is gonna come. That's why it's so hard to stream him, right? It's so hard. But just in case, right, you need a specialist, maybe someone to block shots, and you don't have much options there. You probably get him, right? If you get Mo Wagner for some of your streams, you can have Naz Reid there. Tim Hardaway Jr. could be a player for your threes. He's been hot.
Pick him up, yeah.
Add while he's hot. Killian is probably not there. If you need blocks, Walker Kessler is your guy. He's been playing well. He's had the best game of his NBA career the other game. And today he played relatively well. Another couple of blocks more. But he's more of a specialist, I think. Field goal, helps your field goal and your blocks. That's it. All of these stuff on our Facebook page. We apologize, we haven't updated much on the website, but we will figure that out as the weeks come by. All right, guys, that's it for today's Daily Fantasy Quickie. Hope you enjoyed this. Please continue to subscribe, share, like, hit that notification button so that we'll get closer to that goal of 1,000 subscribers. Guys, thanks for always following, listening, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.